Apple's biggest phone maker, Foxconn, is facing a lot of issues these days. It's one of the biggest manufacturing facility in China's Zhengzhou province, has been facing a lot of protests for several weeks now. We have seen in the month of October there were a lot of protests after which the company had to let go certain people because they were wanting to escape from the facility because of the restrictive living condition in the wake of COVID-0 policy of China. But now, in the latest spurt of protest, the company has now said that almost 20,000 people have left the facility, and most of these people were the fresh recruits who were, you know, brought in the company as a replacement for people who had left earlier. With this latest upsurge in the protest and the sentiment that is, discontent that is growing among the workers in one of the biggest facility that is in China, Zhengzhou province of Foxconn, the company is expected to not meet its deadline or the shipping targets that it has set for the November month. In fact, earlier notices issued by the company has said that it is expecting a 30% dip in the overall production capacity of the plant. Remember that this one plant, which is spread across 1.5 million square kilometers in Zhengzhou, is almost like a city. It has all the facilities, football ground, basketball ground, swimming pool, and all the city facility that city of 1.5 million square meter square size could have. And also, it produces almost 70% of all the Apple phone that we see across the world. In fact, Apple's latest model, F14 Pro, is also something that is manufactured at this plant. Almost 2 lakh workers were reported to have been regularly working at this facility. So one can imagine the kind of scale and the capacity this plant has had, and the dependence of this overall supply chain of Apple phones across the globe that depends on the production capacity of this plant. And if this plant is expecting a 30% dip, with the latest discontent or latest protest by the workers and almost 20,000 workers who are now expected to have left the company or have been offered to leave the company, it looks like this 30% dip is something that company will have to reconsider, and maybe it will be more, the production facility is going to face more dip. And this is coming in the aftermath, or this is coming at a time when company was expecting actually a booming sale because of the Christmas and New Year. This is the holiday season, and people try to buy and spend on the luxury items or expensive gifts for each other, and they do buy phones or luxury items for themselves also. So in the peak season or in the peak holiday season, when Apple was looking ahead at a very robust market, robust demand, the supply side constraint is going to actually spoil its market, and the total supply chain disruption, which almost depends 70% on this one Foxconn facility that is in Zhengzhou province of China, is facing a lot of protests. We have seen workers, smashing cameras. There have been fights between protesting workers and health workers, protesting workers and police officials. And these fights have been going on for several weeks now. And even if Foxconn tries to recruit fresh talent, it will take few weeks before actually they can be deployed in the assembly line production of the iPhone facility. So going by the current reports, which says that 20,000 people are supposed to leave the company in the days to come, the fresh recruits will come, then they will be trained, and then only they will be deployed for the assembly line production, which will require few weeks from now. So overall, the chances for Apple to achieve its target of production looks very bleak, and maybe people will have to wait for a few more weeks before they could buy their Apple phone. In this holiday season, Apple is going to face a lot of trouble in supply side crunch because of the Chinese regulation, China's zero COVID policy, which has actually impacted a lot of other industries also. But we are talking about Foxconn, which is a Taiwanese company, which is making phone for a US company, Apple, in the facilities that is in China.